You finally did it. You packed your life into boxes and moved to a city where nobody knows your name, and you told yourself this is where the story ends. 3 weeks later, a friend sends a screenshot of your ex standing on a street that looks exactly like your new street, 4 blocks from your front door. Someone who was supposed to disappear from your life is standing in the background of your new life, and you never told a single person your new address. And in that moment, you understand something you have been avoiding. Some endings never truly happen. Obsession does not need an address because obsession is always watching. Your eyes are on this video for a reason. Hit subscribe right now and I'll show you exactly what a narcissist does when you finally walk out of their life for good. Because there is a sign most people mistake for flattery. A sign that feels like a compliment and cuts like a knife. And it is the quietest proof that they are still obsessed with you. Subscribe and stay with me, because what I am about to tell you will change the way you see their every move. It is easy to call it a coincidence. The world is enormous and small at the same time, and people bump into each other all the time. But the street in that photo is 4 blocks from your new front door, and you never posted your new address anywhere. You did not tell your mutual friends. You barely told your own family. So explain this to me. How did they find a needle in a city full of haystacks, unless the needle was always pointing at you? And it would be easy to ignore if it were one thing. But it is never one thing. It is the song you hummed this spring showing up on their playlist in summer. It is the hobby you started in May that they suddenly mastered by August. It is your haircut, your slang, your coffee order, your favorite author glowing on their nightstand in a photo. You are watching them rebuild themselves out of pieces of you, and that is the sign, not anger, not a desperate text at midnight, not a dramatic goodbye scene. The sign is the mirror. A narcissist who is still obsessed with you will copy you, quietly, relentlessly, until their life looks like a photocopy of yours, fading a little with every generation. Today I am going to show you what drives the imitation, what it does to your nervous system, and how you make yourself impossible to copy. Because you can change your address, your phone number, your city, your name, and none of it will matter until you understand the engine behind the imitation. Save this video. You will need it the day you catch them wearing your life like a costume, and you wonder if you are the only one who sees it. First, you need to understand something that sounds backwards, but is completely true. A narcissist copies you because they have no self to lose. You have a self. You know who you are when the lights go off and the phone stops buzzing. You have opinions you formed alone, memories that belong only to you, a voice inside that tells you right from wrong even when nobody is watching. They do not have that voice. Inside them, where your voice lives, there is a quiet that needs filling. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, the hollow kind, the kind that echoes. And because they cannot build a self from the inside, they borrow one from the outside. They walk through the world collecting pieces of other people like a tailor collecting fabric, and whoever stands closest for the longest time becomes the pattern. When you were together, you were their pattern, your laugh, your calm, your way of walking into a room. They absorbed all of it. That is not romance. That is a sponge trying to become the ocean. And when you left, you did not just take your belongings. You took the blueprint. You took the shape of the person they had learned to wear. And now they are cold, not because they miss you, but because they lost their own outline. This is why they keep you close even after the ending. Not to love you, to study you. You are the original painting, and they need you hanging in the gallery so they can keep making copies. The moment you vanish completely, the reference disappears, and their copy starts to blur. So they keep tabs on you. Not with messages and fights most of the time. With attention so quiet it looks like coincidence. And here is where it gets strange and sad at the same time. For a while it might even feel good. You change your hair, and a month later they change theirs to match. You start running and suddenly their feed is full of sunrise runs. You go back to school, and they post about new beginnings. It is easy to hear a whisper in your head that says, "They still love me. They are still thinking about me. They changed because of me." That whisper is the trap, because what looks like devotion is actually extraction. They are not changing because of you in the way you hope. They are changing into you. There is a difference between someone who admires you and someone who consumes you. Admiration wants you to grow. Consumption wants you to stay the same size so the costume keeps fitting. Let me show you what the copying actually looks like in real life, because most people only notice it in the big things and miss it in the small ones. The first copy is the clone. Watch who they choose next. A narcissist who is still obsessed with you will often start dating someone who echoes you. Same laugh, same style, same dreamy way of looking at the world, sometimes even the same name. It is not a coincidence, and it is not a type. It is a spare part. They are not choosing a new person. They are ordering a replacement for the one that got away, and the replacement is you with a different face. The second copy is the borrowed world. Your hobbies become their hobbies. Your restaurant becomes their favorite. Your sky becomes their wallpaper. You take up pottery, and suddenly clay is their whole personality. You learn the guitar, and their story features a new instrument. It looks like you have so much in common. The truth is darker. They are not sharing your world. They are taking it, one piece at a time, until there is no part of you left that they do not also seem to own. The third copy is the stolen milestone. You graduate, and they suddenly announce a course. You get promoted, and they start a business. You move abroad, and they post about loving other countries. Your life becomes their roadmap. Every victory you claim becomes a destination they suddenly need to visit, not because they want it, but because you had it first. Your life is not your life to them. It is a menu, and they are always hungry. The fourth copy is the invasion. They show up in your places, your gym, your park bench, your coffee shop, your neighborhood bar. Not following you, never that obvious. Just present. Just enough that you look up and see them, and your stomach folds in half. They are not stalking you in the legal sense. They are rehearsing your life. They stand where you stand, sit where you sit, breathe the air you breathe, so that being where you are feels like being you. The fifth copy is the private language. They post things that only you understand, a lyric you sang to them years ago, a phrase from your conversations, a photograph of a place that exists only in your shared memory. To everyone else, it looks random. To you, it is a knock on the glass. They are not speaking to the world. They are speaking to you through a window only you can see, and they do it in public so that you cannot accuse them of anything. Follow for more content like this. Your peace depends on understanding what you are watching, and knowledge is the armor that never wears out. Once you learn to name these 5 copies, the flattery stops working, and the pattern becomes plain. Follow, and I will keep handing you the pieces of the map. Now let me tell you why your brain falls for this, because you are not naive and you are not weak. Copying looks like love, and love is what you are starving for. When someone seems to change themselves to match you, it feels like devotion. It feels like proof that you matter. And after an ending that left you questioning your worth, that proof is almost impossible to resist. Your brain does something generous and dangerous at the same time. It takes their imitation and reads it as intimacy. He learned my coffee order. She picked up my hobby. They still think about me. It is the same mechanism that makes you smile when a stranger wears the same shirt as you. You feel connected. Except this stranger is not a stranger, and the connection is not friendship. It is a mirror that refuses to look away. The problem is that their attention keeps your wound open. Every time they copy you, you look at them, and every time you look at them, you hand your healing a delay. You start checking their pages more. You start comparing your real life to their copy. You watch your own milestones get flattened out, stolen in advance, so that reaching them feels less like victory and more like being followed. That feeling, that strange sense of being watched and borrowed at the same time, is the true cost of their obsession. You cannot fully enjoy a sunset if you are wondering whether they posted the same sky. You cannot feel proud of a promotion if you suspect they will announce a bigger one next week. They do not have to hurt you directly anymore. Your own mind does the hurting, because your life has become something they are also living. And this is the part nobody warns you about. Being copied is a kind of grief. When someone steals your style, your routines, your dreams, a part of you feels erased. You want to stop doing the things you love because they have been taken. You want to change everything about yourself just to get away from your own reflection. Do not do that. That is exactly what the copy wants, to make you feel so invaded that you abandon yourself and hand over the original too. Let me explain the psychology underneath all of it, because it will unlock everything. Start with this. Healthy love can hold two people as separate. You can miss a person and still wish them well. You can remember a chapter of your life and still leave plenty of unshared space. But a narcissist cannot hold you as separate. To them, you are not a person who had a chapter with them. You are a chapter that is still being written, and they are desperate to keep writing it. There is a term psychologists use for this, and it fits like a key in a lock. It is called a lack of object constancy. It means they cannot keep a stable image of you inside their head when you are not in front of them. So to keep you real, they must make you visible. To keep you close, they must make you present. Copying you is their way of keeping you alive inside their world. It is not love. It is a memory that cannot rest. Think of it like a radio station. Most people broadcast on their own frequency, and they do not need to retune. A narcissist has no frequency of their own. They only pick up other people's signals, and they sound most like whoever they are closest to. You were the strongest signal they ever locked onto, and now that you have moved, they are not searching for a new station. They are trying to tune the whole world to your frequency, just so they can keep hearing you forever. This is also why they never admit they are copying you. You cannot tell a cover band that they are not the original artist. They will argue. They will mock you. They will say everyone has the same taste. Because admitting the copy would mean admitting the emptiness underneath it, and that is a confession their ego will never allow. So they copy you in secret and deny it in public, and the denial is part of the game. It keeps you questioning yourself, and you will question yourself. That is the cruelest weapon they have. You will wonder if you are paranoid. You will wonder if you are flattering yourself to believe they care enough to copy you. You will show the evidence to a friend, and the friend will shrug and say it could be a coincidence. And for one terrible minute, you will believe that you are the one who is obsessed, writing stories in the air. You are not. Trust the pattern, not the doubt. A real human being, a healthy one, will cross your mind. They might even look you up once or twice, and then they let go. They do not remold their personality around your leftovers. They do not date your echo. They do not build a shadow life inside your coordinates. That kind of repetition is not random. That is a signal. You are not being dramatic. You are being watched, and you are being borrowed. So now, the question you came here for. How do you stop being the pattern? How do you make yourself impossible to copy? The first answer is the one nobody wants to hear. You stop feeding the process. Their copy runs on information about you, so you cut the supply. Go quiet. Not forever, and not because you are hiding. But while the smoke clears, stop being an open book. Private accounts, closed doors, fewer breadcrumbs. A copy cannot be made from a photograph that nobody can see. Change the locks on your rituals too. The park you walk every morning. The cafe where you always sit. The route you always take. A narcissist's map of you is built from repetition. You do not have to move cities. You have to break the rhythm. Vary your streets. Vary your hours. Vary the places where your life happens, and their coordinates will go quiet, because the algorithm of your life will start returning nothing. And here is a strange but powerful move. Keep your growth invisible. When you get a new job or a new love or a new skill, do not announce it. Do not post the glow. Let the victories be small fires that only you can feel. Because every public milestone you claim is a beacon they can sail toward. Your joy is not a broadcast. Your joy is a room, and you get to decide who holds the keys. Do not confront them about the copying. I know you want to. I know you want to send the screenshot and demand an answer. But here is the truth. Confrontation is contact, and contact is oxygen. If you call them out, you hand them proof that their mirror works, that you are watching them back, that you still care enough to notice. The worst punishment for a copy is not your anger. It is your absence. It is you happily living a life they cannot see, becoming the original of something they can no longer trace. You will have to grieve the flattery too, because part of you will miss it. Part of you will miss being someone's whole world, even if that world was a hall of mirrors. Give that part of you some tenderness. It was not stupid. It just wanted to be chosen. And you can say this gently to yourself. I do not need to be their mirror. I need to be my own home. Turn on notifications. The next truth will arrive before the doubt does, and you will want to be there to catch it. Because the hardest part of this journey is the middle, and I am going to walk you through it one step at a time. Turn them on, and do not look away from what comes next. The middle is where most people get lost. You have cut the supply. You have gone quiet. And now you feel empty. Not because you miss them, because you are detoxing from being watched. For a long time, part of your sense of self was built on their attention, even the strange kind. When that attention stops, there is a withdrawal. You will reach for your phone. You will want to peek. You will want to see if they have noticed your silence. Let them wonder. Their confusion is not your problem. But I will tell you what will happen, so you are ready. First, they will not notice for a while, because copies do not check on the original. They check on their own reflection of you. Then, slowly, they will feel the drift. They might reach out with something that sounds innocent. A holiday greeting, a question about a book, a memory, brought back to the surface like a stone from a river. It looks random. It is not random. It is the mirror reaching for its missing face. When that message comes, and it will come, you have two choices, and only one of them leads anywhere. You can answer and step back into the hall of mirrors for one more round, or you can let it sit there, unanswered, glowing in the dark like a phone on a nightstand. Silence is not cruelty. Silence is a complete answer. It says, I am no longer part of your reference material. And the beautiful, painful part is this. The more you stop looking, the more the copy fades. A photocopy of a photocopy of a photograph loses its edges. A cover band that never hears the original forgets the melody. Their version of you will grow dim and wrong. They will keep trying for a while, reaching for details that are no longer offered. And then, one day, they will have to build something of their own. Or they will simply move on to the next person wearing the next life. Love celebrates your growth even when your growth does not include it. Love says, go be magnificent somewhere, and means it. Love does not need to wear your skin to feel close to you. It can stand on the other side of the world, and the connection still holds, because it lives inside both of you, not in what you provide. That is the difference between being borrowed and being loved. And you were born for the second one. Comment below. Tell me what they copied from you, and I will answer as many as I can, because naming it out loud is the first step to taking it back. Your story will also help someone else recognize their own, and that is how this chain of healing spreads. So leave it in the comments, and let the naming begin. Now let me give you something that changed everything for me, and I hope it changes everything for you. It is a reframe. The one who is trapped is not you. It is them. Think about the weight of it. To live a life that is a copy, to need someone else's existence to feel real, to spend months rebuilding yourself out of another person's leftovers. That is not a life. That is a sentence served in someone else's clothes. Meanwhile, here you are, feeling everything, grieving, doubting, aching, growing. And yes, it hurts. But hurt is movement. Hurt is the sound of you still being alive. A person who copies cannot feel that kind of hurt, because they cannot sit inside themselves long enough to feel anything at all. They feel through you. Your pain, your joy, your growth. They are not living their life. They are watching yours through a keyhole and calling it love. So let me say it plainly, because someone has to. Their obsession was never about you. It was about what you provided. The shape, the warmth, the proof that they could be somebody. You could have been anyone who stood close enough and stayed long enough. That is not flattering. That is interchangeable. And the moment you understand that, the flattery loses its teeth, and you are finally free to stop performing for it. There is a reason you are the original, and they are the copy, and it is not cruel to say it. Originals can make things from nothing. They can sit in silence and create. They can love without being loved back, and still keep loving. They can be alone and still know their own name. A copy cannot do any of that. A copy only exists in relationship to something else. You were never their equal in that dance. You were their source, and sources are not theirs to keep. Share this with someone building a new life while an old one keeps photocopying it from a distance. Send it to the friend who looks over their shoulder in their own town and tell them the looking over the shoulder will end. They need to hear that being watched is not the same as being wanted, and that the looking over the shoulder will end. Now let me prepare you for the moments when it gets confusing again, because they will come. Healing has its own weather. There will be nights when their copy looks beautiful. They will seem happier. They will seem to have everything you wanted. And you will feel a strange pull, a what if, a maybe I was wrong about everything. Do not trust the highlight reel. You are comparing their copy to your messy, real, in-progress life. It is not a fair fight, and you are not losing it. You are just in the middle of it. And there will be moments when you catch yourself checking on them. That is normal, and it is not failure. But know what you are really doing. You are checking whether the mirror still reflects you. You are checking if you still matter to your own story. Close the app. Go for a walk. Call a person who loves you. The reflection you are looking for is not behind a screen. It is in the eyes of people who know you, and in the quiet of your own company. Here is something you can do tonight, and it will change the texture of your healing. Make a list, in your head or in a notebook, of the things that are yours, and only yours. The dream you have told no one, the ritual you made up as a child, the opinion you hold that no one shares, the song that means something secret to you. These are your private frequencies. They are the parts of your life they can never copy, because they never knew them, and they never will. Now build your life toward those things, not toward the ones they stole, toward the ones they never saw. Every secret dream you chase is a room they cannot enter. Every private ritual you protect is a door they cannot pick. You are not rebuilding your life out of the pieces they took. You are building a new one out of the pieces they never knew existed. And that new one is where your freedom lives. Bookmark this video. 6 months from now, you will want to reread this exact part, when the flattery sounds sweet again and the past starts looking golden. Bring yourself back to these words and let them hold the line for you. Bookmark it now, while the truth is still fresh in your hands. Let me tell you about the end of obsession so you know what to look for. You will know it is ending when the copying stops making sense to them. Right now, your life still works for them as a reference. They can still borrow your coat of calm, your scarf of style, your silver of confidence. But do this. Give them nothing. No updates, no glimpses, no shared friends carrying messages, no witness to your growth. Watch what happens. The copy starts running out of material. They start using older pieces of you, pieces that no longer fit. Their posts get stranger. Their choices get shakier. Because without you, their mirror begins to fog. And slowly, in their own way, they will drift towards someone new to study, someone new to wear. This is not them getting over you. This is them getting bored of a reference that stopped producing. And do not be hurt by that. Do not take it as proof that you were nothing. Take it as proof of what you always suspected. It was never you. It was the role you played in their story. When the role stops serving them, they recast it. That is not your value failing. That is your value proving it was never something they could hold, only something they could borrow. Let me close with the thing I most want you to carry out of this video. It is a sentence you will need on the hard days, and I want you to hear it slowly. You are not a reference for someone else's life. You are the author of your own. And the distance between those two things is the difference between being borrowed and being free. For so long, you have been living with a shadow beside you. It imitated your walk, your words, your dreams. It made you feel trapped in a hall of mirrors where every version of you seemed to belong to someone else. But here is the truth about shadows. They cannot exist without a body casting them. And you are the body. You have always been the body. The shadow was never alive. It was only ever your light, bent and borrowed, playing tricks on you. So step into your own light, loudly, quietly, however you need to. Go back to the hobby that got stolen and love it anyway. Take the route they copied and make new memories that have nothing to do with them. Date the person who chooses you because of who you are, not because of what they can wear. You do not need to hide your life. You need to live it so fully that their copy becomes what it always was, a pale drawing of a breathing thing. And when the old feelings surface, and they will, you can say this to yourself with your whole chest: I am the original. I am not anyone's mirror. I am not anyone's costume. I am awake. I am alive. I am real. And I am finally free. So here is the final truth, the one to carry like a letter you will read again. They were never in love with you. They were in love with the version of you that made them feel whole. When you understand that, their copying stops being flattery and becomes what it always was, a confession. But you did not lose yourself. You are right here, still breathing, still building. You are not a photocopy of anyone. You are the original, and originals never disappear. So let them trace your outline from a distance. The ink is theirs. The life is yours. And let me give you the words for the final act, because you will face it sooner than you think. One day, they will try to come back, not because they changed, because their copy started failing, and you are the only reference they trust. They will send a message that sounds like a confession, a paragraph full of regret and growth and everything you once begged to hear. And for one dangerous moment, you will want to believe it. Here is how you will know it is real. If they have changed, they will accept your silence with grace. They will respect the door and walk away from it. But if they are still playing the same game, the sweetness will turn sharp within a week. The apology will become a demand. The love will become a list of what you owe. And you will see, with your own 2 eyes, that the copy learned no new pages. It just learned new costumes. So when that message arrives, you can read it. You can even feel the old pull. And then you can do this. You can tell yourself the truth out loud. I already know how this story goes. I have read this chapter, and I am writing a different book now. Then you close the screen, make yourself some tea, and stay in the life that chose you. If one person in this video reminded you of yourself, share it with them. Subscribe for more videos that speak the truth you need to hear.